Have you ever wondered why many rich people are often lonely? It's a question that seems counterintuitive, right? Wealth, after all, is often associated with a life of luxury, opulence, and countless social opportunities. Yet the reality can be starkly different. The wealthy often find themselves navigating a complex maze of work commitments, divergent values, and the constant fear of being used, among other things. So let's delve deeper. In this video, we're going to explore why the rich often find themselves in a state of loneliness. But before we go on, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell. This will help support our channel and make more interesting content for you. So, let's get started. Wealth doesn't come easy. It often requires an intense devotion to work that leaves little room for anything else. The road to riches is paved with long hours, relentless hustle, and an unwavering determination to succeed. For many wealthy individuals, the pursuit of prosperity becomes a consuming passion, a non-stop race that leaves little time for the softer sides of life. Imagine the CEO who burns the midnight oil, relentlessly pushing towards the next big deal. Or the entrepreneur whose mind is a constant whirl of new ideas, strategies, and possibilities. Their lives are a testament to the saying that success demands sacrifice. But what often gets sacrificed on the altar of success? Time, relationships, and the simple joys of life. This is the workaholic lifestyle, a relentless cycle of work, sleep, repeat. It's a lifestyle that leaves little room for leisure, for socialization, for building meaningful relationships. After all, when you're working 80 hours a week, when do you have the time to nurture friendships or spend quality time with loved ones? And over time, this intense focus on work can lead to isolation. The workaholic becomes an island, surrounded by a sea of tasks, deadlines, and responsibilities. The office becomes their world. Their social life shrinks, their relationships wither, and they can find themselves feeling increasingly alone, even in a crowd. So when work takes precedence over everything else, it's no surprise that loneliness can creep in. Being wealthy can change a person's perspective, and not always in ways that foster connection. The mindset of an affluent individual is often molded by unique experiences, priorities, and values. These can differ greatly from the average person's, creating a divergence that can sometimes feel like a chasm. Wealth brings with it a whole new set of concerns and considerations, ones that can feel alien to those not in the same financial bracket. Priorities shift, values evolve. For some, the focus becomes wealth preservation and growth. For others, it's about using that wealth to create impact, to leave a legacy. This divergent mindset can create barriers when trying to form meaningful relationships. Interests can become esoteric, conversations can seem unrelatable to others. The wealthy may find themselves drawn to different pursuits, ones that don't necessarily resonate with the average person. Imagine trying to form a connection with someone whose experiences are vastly different from yours. The challenges, the triumphs, the concerns, they're all different. It's like trying to find common ground on two different planets. It's not that the wealthy want to isolate themselves, far from it. But the reality is their experiences and circumstances can make it difficult to connect with people who haven't walked in their shoes. The divergence in mindset and values isn't insurmountable, of course, but it requires effort, understanding, and sometimes a willingness to step out of one's comfort zone. When your worldview is vastly different from those around you, it can be challenging to connect on a deeper level. Being wealthy can sometimes feel like having a target on your back. An uncomfortable truth, but a reality for many affluent individuals. Imagine for a moment the constant worry that the relationships you form may not be genuine but rather rooted in a desire to exploit your financial resources. This fear of being used can cast a long, isolating shadow over the lives of the wealthy. It's like being in a room full of people but feeling utterly alone because you're questioning the motives of everyone around you. Being on the receiving end of constant requests for financial assistance, business opportunities, or even charitable donations can create a sense of wariness. It's a unique kind of loneliness that stems from a lack of trust, a barrier that prevents the formation of meaningful, authentic connections. This fear isn't unfounded. There are countless stories of wealthy individuals who've been manipulated or betrayed by those they thought they could trust. These experiences can leave lasting scars, fueling a hesitancy to engage and connect with others. It's a defensive mechanism, a protective shield, but one that often comes at the expense of real relationships. Yet it's important to remember that not all relationships are transactional, and not everyone has ulterior motives. There are genuine, caring individuals out there. But when the fear of being used looms large, it can be hard to see them. When you're constantly on guard against being used, it's hard to open up and let people in. For the wealthy, interactions often serve a purpose beyond camaraderie. Now, this isn't to say that affluent individuals don't crave genuine relationships. However, the emphasis on networking for professional or business purposes can sometimes overshadow the pursuit of personal connections. Imagine this. A wealthy individual walks into a room. Every handshake, every conversation, every interaction is seen as a potential opportunity. An opportunity to expand their business, to increase their wealth, or to secure a new deal. Now, this is not inherently bad. Networking is a crucial part of any successful business venture. But when networking becomes the primary focus, it can lead to a neglect of deeper, more personal relationships. Each interaction becomes a transaction, a give and take, a quid pro quo. Over time, this can create a sense of isolation. The people around them are seen less as friends and more as business associates. Their relationships in essence become commodified. Moreover, the emphasis on networking can also foster a sense of superficiality. Conversations revolve around business, money, and success, rather than personal interests, shared experiences, and emotional connections. This lack of depth can lead to feelings of loneliness, even when surrounded by people. In a world where the worth of a relationship is often measured in dollars and cents, genuine connections can become an endangered species. In a world where connections are often transactional, loneliness can easily take root. Wealth can sometimes come with high expectations. Now let's take a moment to look at how these expectations can impact relationships. You see, being wealthy often means having high standards, not just for oneself, but also for the people in one's life. This could be family, friends, business associates, or even potential romantic partners. This mindset, while it can drive success, can also create a barrier to forming deep, meaningful relationships. Why? Well, because when those around you are constantly being measured against a lofty set of standards, it can put a strain on the relationship. Every minor failing, every small slip-up, becomes magnified. A missed appointment isn't just a scheduling conflict, it's a breach of trust. A late email response isn't just a delay, it's a sign of disrespect. But here's the kicker. No one is perfect. Everyone, wealthy or not, has their own strengths, weaknesses, and quirks. When wealthy individuals expect perfection from those around them, they're setting themselves up for disappointment. Because, inevitably, people will fall short of these high expectations. And when they do, it can lead to conflict, distance, and ultimately, isolation. In the end, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The high standards intended to bring success and satisfaction instead lead to a sense of loneliness. A network of relationships, once vibrant and diverse, can become a barren landscape, dotted with the remnants of connections that couldn't meet those lofty standards. When others consistently fail to meet these high standards, it can result in a lonely existence. Wealth often comes with a packed social calendar. This may sound glamorous on the surface, but it's important to look beyond the glitz and glamour. You see, these social engagements often lack the one thing that makes human connections meaningful: depth. Imagine attending a string of events, each one filled with a sea of faces. Some are familiar, others are not, and as you navigate through the room, you exchange pleasantries and engage in small talk. But these interactions rarely move beyond the surface. The conversations may be pleasant, even interesting, but they're often devoid of real intimacy. Now, this isn't to say that wealthy individuals are incapable of deep connections. On the contrary, they, like anyone else, crave genuine relationships. However, the nature of their social engagements can make it difficult to foster such connections. At these events, there's often an unspoken expectation to maintain a certain image or facade. This can stifle authenticity, making it challenging to form real, meaningful bonds. Moreover, each event on the calendar is often viewed as an opportunity, a chance to network, to rub shoulders with influential figures, or to maintain a public image. The focus, then, shifts from building relationships to building a brand, from connecting with people to connecting with opportunities. In this whirlwind of social activities where conversations skim the surface and relationships are often transactional, it's easy to feel alone in the crowd. A packed social calendar may offer the illusion of connection, but without depth and authenticity, it can often lead to a profound sense of loneliness. In a whirlwind of social activities, it's easy to feel alone in the crowd. Wealth can create a lifestyle that's far removed from the everyday experiences of most people. This statement rings true for many wealthy individuals who find their lives drastically different from the rest of the population. The gap between the rich and the average person isn't just about the zeros in their bank accounts, but also about the experiences they go through. Imagine being in a room full of people, but feeling like you're on a different planet. It's not because you're a stranger, but because your lifestyle, your day-to-day activities, your problems, and even your joys are so different from theirs. This is a reality that many wealthy individuals face. They travel in private jets, own multiple homes, have access to exclusive clubs, and dine at the finest restaurants. These experiences, while luxurious, can also be isolating. It's like speaking a foreign language in a crowd that doesn't understand a word. You can share your experiences, but it's hard for others to truly relate. They haven't walked in your shoes. They haven't felt the same pressures, the same expectations, or the same isolation that comes with a life of wealth. Conversations can become monologues and interactions can feel one-sided, creating a chasm of misunderstanding and loneliness. It's a paradox, really. The more unique your experiences are, the fewer shared experiences you have with others. And shared experiences, as we know, are the building blocks of connection and understanding. When your life is vastly different from those around you, it can be hard to find common ground. Wealth can sometimes leave a void that's hard to fill. When the pursuit of wealth becomes the sole purpose of life, it may eventually lead to an existential crisis. You see, many wealthy individuals struggle to find genuine motivation beyond financial success. They have climbed to the top of the mountain, attained the pinnacle of material success, and yet, they might find themselves questioning, what now? This is a common dilemma, where the very goal that once fueled their drive, their ambition, no longer provides the same satisfaction or sense of accomplishment. Success is no longer measured by the next paycheck, the next deal, or the next investment. They've already achieved that. So what's next? The answer isn't always clear. It's like being in a vast desert with no discernible path. It's an unsettling feeling, this uncertainty, this lack of direction. It can lead to a sense of emptiness, a feeling of isolation from the world. It's a stark contrast to the image of the successful, confident, and driven individual we often associate with wealth. In the absence of a genuine sense of purpose, life can feel like an endless cycle of hollow victories. And that's a lonely place to be. The challenge for many wealthy individuals is to find that motivation, that purpose beyond the pursuit of wealth. Without a sense of purpose beyond wealth, life can feel empty and lonely. The key to overcoming this existential challenge lies in discovering a purpose that transcends material success, one that brings fulfillment and connects them to the world in a meaningful way. For some wealthy individuals, loneliness is a choice made in the pursuit of privacy. With wealth often comes a spotlight, a public curiosity that can be as intrusive as it is relentless. This constant attention, media scrutiny, and public interest can be overwhelming. The wealthy may find their personal lives dissected, their every move noted, their peace disrupted. To protect themselves, some wealthy individuals create a barrier of solitude. They choose to distance themselves from the world, creating a shield against invasive inquiries. This shield allows them to maintain a sense of personal space and control. They can dictate who enters their sphere, who gets close enough to see past the public persona to the private individual. But this choice, this desire for privacy, can contribute to feelings of isolation. The walls that keep the world out can also keep genuine connections at bay. The protection they afford can become a prison of solitude. Yet for some, this is a trade-off they're willing to make. The tranquility of solitude outweighs the companionship of others. The guarantee of privacy is worth the price of loneliness. They find comfort in their isolation, peace in their solitude. It's not that they don't want connections, but they want them on their own terms. When privacy is valued above all else, loneliness can be a self-imposed state. While the path of the wealthy can have its unique challenges, such as difficulty finding best friends or a soulmate, it is important to emphasize the positive aspects of wealth and the potential for a fulfilling, purposeful life that wealth provides. Financial prosperity can provide people with the freedom to pursue their desires, engage in philanthropy, and make a positive impact on the world. Instead of looking at wealth solely through the lens of potential loneliness, it is important to recognize the positive aspects of wealth. Wealth, if managed thoughtfully, can be a powerful tool for personal and social improvement, offering opportunities for growth, socializing, and the pursuit of a more joyful and meaningful existence. Moreover, as awareness of the loneliness paradox grows, so does the emphasis on mental health and well-being in wealthy circles. wealthy individuals increasingly recognize the importance of balance, meaningful connections, and the pursuit of holistic happiness. This shifting perspective promotes a more optimistic outlook, encouraging the wealthy to actively seek out authentic relationships, prioritize mental well-being, and share their wealth with others.